So it's been a hot minute since we've done a planet soap, and that is what we are doing today. And for those of you who follow planets and zodiacs and all those things, you probably know which planet we're doing. But, I'm going to do the thing anyway because it's what I do. Hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and today is day 244 of 365 days of soap, and we are making Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's awesome, right? It's the biggest planet in the solar system. It has 67 moons, beautiful rings, apparently is supposed to smell like ammonia, all cool things. And this is a project that I actually work on whenever it's time to do another planet soap with the Soap and Clay kidlets. And the only exception to that would have been the Earth planet, because they actually weren't super interested in learning about Earth in like the planetary sphere because they know so much about it just existing on it. So Georgia May handled the Earth soap, and yeah, now we're doing Jupiter. The reason we are doing Jupiter is because we try to line these up with the corresponding zodiac signs whenever we can, and it's Sagittarius season, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So that's what we're doing today. Now, the design and the pour and all of the smells and all the fun things, the Soap and Clay kidlets were super involved with that entire process. So let's go to the video now, and we can watch, the process and talk about why they picked what they picked and all of the things. So during this time of the year, I'm super loving how short all of the videos are because I'm so busy. And yeah, that is the scent blend actually, and it is bright green, and there's the kaolin mixed in the water. And the colors we are using for Jupiter, because we are making Jupiter today, you guys. That's awesome. Now the scent blend is actually a pine and mint blend, and I did not make this one. I actually picked it up from Sierra Candles. Hi, Mazikeen. So Miss Mays just came into play, and now she's gone. Bye, Mazikeen. Okay. Yeah, I actually picked this scent blend up from Sierra Candles, and it is called Winter Wonderland. And the reason that I decided to use this for the Jupiter bar is because Jupiter is meant to smell like ammonia, right? Because it is a very gaseous planet. And I don't believe that this scent actually smells like ammonia. It's pine, it's mint, it's awesome, but it does smell very cold, and that is, awesome in and of itself. So I went with this for that because it's the winter season, and Jupiter in the winter months, it's all thing. And so that was what I decided to do. But again, it's bright green, which is super weird. So you're going to see what happens when you use a scent blend that is a weird color in your soaping, really. And that's cool. So the colors and everything that I did for the Jupiter bar, I am going for, in this pour, a very ringed pour, really. So I'm not going to be using a pull through because A, pull throughs are stupid, and two, that won't really achieve what I want it to achieve if I'm going for a ringed version. So no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do the full column, and it's going to be awesome. And just as a side note, I super love that the first pull through video I did, like, my videos don't really get dislikes, and when they do, that's actually fine because it helps with the algorithm. So whatever, I don't care. But
The first video that I did about pull-throughs, I titled it "Pull-throughs are stupid," and that has more dislikes than anything else on the channel. And I find that really interesting. Like, there are so many people who must love pull-throughs out there and clearly did not watch the video, because the reason why I have issues with pull-throughs and think they're stupid is because I'm bad at them. That was the joke. And yeah, people didn't get the joke. So because this is such a teeny tiny little batch, everything's being just measured out into the beakers, and by measured I mean I'm just eyeballing it, and all of the cool colors are going to be swirled into the big Pyrex and then poured into a column mold. It's all easy peasy. It's going to be great. And I am sure that actually this is the most normal soap that we've done so far for the planetary line, because the kids didn't have any super weird things to say or want to do about Jupiter. Their biggest thing was it's supposed to smell like ammonia. And I don't even know if they know what ammonia smells like, so we had to have a conversation about that. And then it can never turn into a star. Like, that was their biggest input into the entire thing, was Jupiter can never become a star, Mom. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Can any of us become a star? Can any of our planets become a star? And they didn't have an answer for me for that, and I don't know what the answer to that is. But we know that it's super duper large. Jupiter's huge, right? Massive. And it's a very gaseous planet. And it has this cool red spot that's been around for like ever, right? We've seen it on all forever. And so that is what I'm hoping to do with the pour. That's why the red is there, to create, yes, the cool lines, but also hoping to get a red spot into all of these bars so we can, mimic Jupiter. But red spot was very big, much like the heart on Pluto was equally big with my kiddos. So we are going to, see what we come up with for the pour. So we're going to move on to the pour, as soon as I finish mixing the really weird bright green thing into the soap batter, and we will go from there. And on to the pour. And as I said, this isn't in the pot swirl, but whatever I do in the pot swirl, it doesn't really mean in the pot swirl. It actually means I'm going to do a thin lines pour, because I love thin lines pours, and this consistency is not exactly conducive for a thin lines pour. So we're just going to call this the Mrs. Soap and Clay pour, which is a thicker batter, because I make clay soaps, so clay soaps are going to be thicker in and of themselves. And I'm not going to swirl it with a skewer and, give the batter some movement. I'm just going to take the batter, even though it's a little bit thick for a proper in our thin lines pour, and pour it into the mold exactly as I have poured it into the pot. And I am hoping, based on where I am putting these different colors, that I will end up with some really cool thin lines within the mold itself, doing kind of a faux column, and also a red spot within each soap. And yeah, the red spot is actually kind of cool, because it is actually big enough to contain like 2 or 3 planets that are like the size of Earth, right? Oh, there's some interesting kind of ricing going on there. See that? It's all good. I have shown you videos before wherein ricing occurs within the pour, and it does not exist within the final soap. I think you should pay attention to that if you're a soaper, because so many soapers approach these things in the wrong ways entirely. Like this whole idea of ricing and separation and discoloration and all the things, that's not the important part of soaping. The important part of soaping is chemistry. And as long as you have paid attention to your fatty acid profiles, and you have a well-formed batch, and you get that batch to emulsification, you are going to end up with soap no matter what you do to it from that moment on, from emulsification on. So, cool, ricing. It's not going to show up in the finished product. And we are going to put this in the oven for CPOP, for gel, and then we will cut it, and you can see the finished product and whether or not that ricing showed up. And on to the cut. Now again, this was C-popped, this was gelled. You can see a little teeny tiny hole there where it got overly heated, but look at how gorgeous that soap is. My God, it is shiny. It is not at all craggy. It is smooth and beautiful and amazing. And I am so excited to cut into this and see what we have, you know, in the inside. And this, I mean, this is my favorite part of soaping just in general, the cutting. So, ooh, and look at that. That is so beautiful. Now we have two different like versions of rings going on there because I did a thin lines pour, right? So halfway through the pour, I stopped and put the rest of the color in. And so we have two different sort of versions of like concentric circles going on there. And that's amazing. That is such a beautiful bar of soap. Wow. Yep, that is gorgeous. That may be my favorite planetary soap that we've done so far. And I mean, admittedly, it's been a minute since we've done a planetary soap, right? And I think the last one we did was the Earth soap. And it was the Earth 2020 because that was just a dumpster fire of a pour, which totally worked. It was beautiful and perfect and all of the awesome. But still, that said, that's been a while. It's been a while since we've actually put out a planetary soap because now it's the time to do it because we are in the right season to release a Jupiter soap. And I love this. This is absolutely beautiful. And the scent is actually cool. I wouldn't have used this Winter Wonderland for anything in my like holiday line, my winter line, but for a planetary soap it totally works. And as you can see, there's no greening, there's no issues at all with the fragrance having been green, so that's good. And oh God, I love that. That's so gorgeous. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is day 244, the Jupiter soaps, and yeah, absolute babes. Those are, yes, those are good.
And there it is, Jupiter, and she's gorgeous. That is such a babe of a soap. I super love that. I also love that I was able to sort of incorporate some of my favorite blends within the holiday line into this soap as well, because again, ammonia, and I really don't want my soap to smell like ammonia, but you know, clean totally works. Outdoor, fresh, cold, it was all awesome. So I love this new soap that we're adding to the planetary line for sure. If you are interested in the Jupiter soap, you can totally find it on the website at soapandclay.com. If you are interested in following me on social media, I am there, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you are interested in more soapy content, subscribe to the channel. That would be cool. You could come back every day and we could teach you stuff, or you could listen to me babble about weird things. Both happen in every video because it's kind of my thing. So yeah, hit the little word, become a sudzer. We'd sure love to have you in the family. For those of you who are in the family, thank you so much for being a part of the family. You are awesome as always, and I appreciate you as always. So yeah, thank you for joining me for another round of 365 days of soap. I am done for today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow.